Okay, let's be real. Have you ever poured your heart and soul into teaching a client a new skill, just to check in a few weeks later and see it's completely vanished? Yeah, if you're nodding along, you are not alone. Today, we're diving into one of the most critical concepts in our field, straight from Section B of the task list: response maintenance. Seriously, this is the secret sauce to making skills stick, and it is an absolute game changer for creating durable, meaningful change for our clients.
I mean, think about it. You've spent weeks, maybe even months, on one specific skill. You've seen the data go up. You've had those breakthrough moments, those little aha celebrations. The skill is mastered. It's beautiful. But then, you start to fade out your support, and poof, it's gone. It's like it was never even there. That feeling is enough to make you want to pull your hair out. But don't worry, we're going to break down exactly how to prevent that from ever happening again.
So how do we break that frustrating cycle of learn and forget? Well, the answer is a concept called response maintenance. And listen, this isn't just some fancy term we throw around. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about our interventions. It's all about building skills that are durable, skills that become a permanent, reliable part of our clients' lives. Let's get technical for just a second, because the definition is key. Response maintenance is all about a skill's staying power. It means the behavior keeps happening over time, long after we've stopped providing those initial, maybe kind of contrived rewards. You can think of it like this. We're not just teaching a skill, we're building a habit that's meant to last a lifetime.
This really gets to the core of why maintenance is so important. It's not just about a skill continuing to happen, it's proof that our work has a real, lasting impact. When a skill is maintained, it becomes part of our client's everyday life. And you'll remember from the 7 dimensions of ABA, it's a huge part of generality. That just means our interventions aren't some short-term fix, they're creating meaningful long-term change that actually spreads across a person's life. Honestly, it's the ultimate goal.
All right, enough with the theory. Let's talk about what this actually looks like in the real world. Let's walk through a few examples that are going to bring this concept to life and really show you just how powerful it can be.
Okay, picture a busy classroom. You've been working with a student on raising their hand instead of calling out answers. At first, the teacher is on it, praising them every single time they do it. But after a while, they start to thin out that praise. They're not a praise machine anymore. But here's the magic. The student keeps raising their hand. That right there, that's maintenance in action.
Now, let's bring it home with a classic daily living skill. You've taught a client how to tie their shoes using a visual task analysis. It was a slow process, for sure, but you stuck with it. Then, one day, the guide is gone. It's in a drawer somewhere, but your client is still tying their own shoes every single day. That's not just a skill, right? That is independence. That is a life-changing moment.
And hey, this isn't just about our clients, it's about us too. Think about a time you trained a new therapist or a supervisor. You were right there with them, modeling, giving feedback. Then you step back. You're not there guiding them anymore. But you pop in for a surprise observation a few months later, and what do you see? They're still running that program with perfect fidelity. That's such a proud supervisor moment, and it's a perfect example of maintenance.
And now for the ultimate classic example of maintenance: riding a bike. You probably learned how to do it as a kid, and even if you haven't been on a bike in 10 years, you could probably hop on one right now and just go. Why? Because that skill has been maintained by the most natural reinforcement there is: not falling. It's the perfect illustration of how skills can last an entire lifetime when they're supported by the real world. So now that we totally get what maintenance is, let's talk about how we actually make it happen. How do we design our interventions from day one to make sure that the skills we teach will actually last? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of programming for durability. This right here, this is the golden rule of maintenance. We have to wean our clients off our artificial rewards, the tokens, the praise, the edibles, and connect them to the reinforcers that are naturally all around them. It's about shifting their focus from "what do I get from you for doing this" to "what do I get from the world for doing this?" The pride of tying your own shoes, the fun of joining a conversation. Those are the things that will keep a skill going long after we're out of the picture.
Okay, here it is, a simple 4-step plan for building maintenance into your programs. First, you start rich, a consistent, continuous schedule of reinforcement. You're laying a solid foundation for that new skill. Then, you slowly, systematically start to thin that schedule. This is where you're transferring ownership of the skill to your client. And while you're doing that, you're actively pointing out all the natural good stuff that's happening. And finally, you don't just disappear. You check back in. You probe periodically to make sure the skill is still going strong. It's a simple process, but it is so powerful. It makes all the difference.
Okay, exam alert, everybody. Pay close attention here. This is one of the trickiest concepts on the test, and it's a spot where so many people lose easy points. We are talking about the difference between maintenance and generalization. If you can get this right, you are one huge step closer to that BCBA certification.
So here's the deal. Plain and simple. Maintenance is all about time. It's about a skill sticking around long after you've stopped teaching it. Generalization, on the other hand, is all about variety. It's about a skill showing up in new places, with new people, using new materials. Just think of it like this. Maintenance is about the when, and generalization is about the where and the who.
When you're staring down a tricky exam question, and you're stuck between maintenance and generalization, here is the one magic question you need to ask yourself. Is the formal intervention over? Is the teacher gone? If the answer is yes, and the skill is still happening, you're almost certainly looking at maintenance.
Burn this into your brain for test day. I'm serious. If the intervention is gone and the behavior is still there, your answer is maintenance. It really is that simple. Remember that one little trick and you'll be golden.
All right, let's wrap this up with the highlights. Maintenance is all about making skills last. It's the ultimate proof that our work is making a real, durable difference. And for the exam, just remember, maintenance is about time, while generalization is about variety. Keep those two straight in your head, and you're going to be in fantastic shape.
So I want to leave you with one final challenge. The very next time you sit down to write a treatment plan, I want you to ask yourself this question. How am I going to plan for day 100 on day 1? Think beyond the immediate goal. Plan for the long haul from the very beginning. Because when you start doing that, you're not just teaching a skill, you're truly changing a life.